Hi all of you, myself Hrithik Sharma, and this is my YouTube channel. You can just subscribe it by clicking this button. It's free. So let's come to today's topic. Today we are going to solve these questions like what it is. It's just a complete get starters package by CodeChef. You can just learn a basic Python by doing this question. And my main motto is to give you the specifically how you can go for a competitive environment by doing some small task, because these questions are very small and you can just do it by your own. But still, I'm going to read the problem statement and explain you what's constraints are, what's input, what's the output, and everything. So here's the problem number one. So problem is problem statement. Write a program that accepts a number n and outputs the same. Okay, it's simple. It says that make a program which take an input number and return that output. Okay, and input is only contain a single integer like this, and constraint is the number can be 10 to the power 5. Okay, when it comes to C or C++, Java, you can just use double, long double to use this much long number. But in Python, we don't need to specify anything. It's a dynamic language. So we just write two lines of the code. I equals to input. What input function does is input function takes an input and store it in I, and then we are going to print it. What print is doing, print is printing the variable I, and variable I contains our input. Okay, it's a simple program. I will just going to submit it, not running, because it's really very simple. Okay, the time being it's being running and submitting. Let's hop into the next question. Okay, so next question is, let me check the previous one. Yeah, it's complete the correct status this, and the time it will taking is 0.02. Okay, so let's hop into the next question. So what next question says is, the purpose of this problem is to verify whether the method you are using to read the data is specifically fast handling problems or enormous data. Okay, what this says is he or the coach want us to just take the input in efficient manner or in the correct manner. So that's why he is giving us the solution also for this problem. Okay, what problem is input is this. Okay, and line contain one integer positive t not greater than 10 to the power 9 each. Okay, write a single integer output denoting how many integers ti are divisible by k. Okay, it's a really very simple question. Let me just explain you how you can just easily solve this question, what it is saying. So it is just used, this question is just for your informative purpose, that how you can take multiple inputs in single line. Okay, so what it is saying is, it is saying that you have two inputs like first you have n and then you have k. Just a second. Okay, first you have an a and then you have a k. Then you have n numbers corresponding to it one, let's say 1 2 3 4, like till n. So you have n numbers after it, and what you have to give is how many numbers in this array or in this list or in this output is divisible by k. We have to just give that output. So what we are going to do is, we are going to first take n as an input and k as an input. We are taking over n and k as a tuple, because map just returns in tuple. Okay, what this is doing is, let me just explain this part first. What this part is doing, I'll just go. It is just taking input and splitting it by the space. And for your information, the split functions by default takes this as an argument. So if you don't pass this on your code, it will fine. It runs same. So what I'm saying is, the input function dot split is splitting n and k into two different numbers and mapping them into an integer. Yani, for example, I have two inputs. 7 and 3. It will convert 7 into int and return it to n, and same goes for the 3. It will convert 3 into integer and then return it to k. Okay, so this is what is happening in this line. So I guess it's clear to you that what is going on. And the next part is we need to just check whether this number is divisible by my k or not, the input. Okay, so I've just taken a for loop and running my for loop till n. Okay, so I have here taking my like wait a minute. Okay, so here I am just using a for loop to loop through this n, just loop 7 times or n times, whatever this number is, and taking x input. What is x? X is this number for the time being, and then we are checking if it is divisible by k. We are checking if it is divisible by k. If it is divisible by k, we just increase just solution answer variable to by 1. Okay. So this is what happening, and then we are just going to loop again. And what we are going to do is we are going to take an input of next number, then next number, then next number, then next number, and so on, and check whether that number is divisible by k or not. Okay. What? Let me just show you. Okay. Uh, what this part is doing is this part is just checking that whether your number, your input, your this input is divisible by k or not. If it divisible by k, you are just going to add 1 into answer, because what we have to return, we have to just return the number of elements in this array which is divisible by k. Okay, so if any number is divisible by k, we just increase by 1, and if this number is divisible, plus 1. If this is divisible, plus 1, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I guess it's clear to you that how its code is running. And my main motto to show this problem is to tell you that how to use the map function, because it is the most important function when it's come to taking the input. Okay, so let me just run this code and check whether it is going good or not. Okay, so you submit this code. Yes. Okay. So the code is submitting. Let's take some time. And I'm going to show one more thing over here. Just a minute. Okay. So it's running fine. But what I'm saying is that you can just make this split function empty, because by default it takes this an argument by default. So if you do not pass anything in it, it will take by default space and split the inputs by space. Okay. So let's check this out if it's working or not. Okay. Let me just check how it's running. Okay, it's running fine. As you can see, I'm not passing anything in it. So yeah. So this is how you can take enormous amount of inputs, like 7 inputs, 8 inputs, and multiple. Okay, so our next question. Let's just go to the next question. Find the remainder. We have just done. No, we haven't done the find the remainder. Let's done the find the remainder. Okay, so what this question is saying that yeah, that you just need to find the remainder of A and B, and T is a test case. So what is test case? Test case is T like this. What it is saying that we are going to have 3 test cases. So first test case is this, and second is this, third is this, and they are split by an space. As you can see that they are split by an space. So we just need to reminder 1, reminder 2, and return it out. What I'm saying is, let me just open my pens. Okay. So what I'm saying is, it says that what we have to return is 1, reminder 2. System. So what we have to return is 1, remainder 2, which is 1. And for this, what we have to return is 100 remainder 200. So which is also equals to 100. And the 40 remainder 15, which is equals to 10. Okay, we just need to find out the remainder of these inputs and print it out. So how you can do that? Let's just see. Okay, so it is also a given solution problem. Uh, it is also here to just show you how you can take t test cases and solve this problem. So what it is doing is it is taking t as a test case over here. We are taking t this as input, int input, because we are taking when it comes to Python, it will take every input in the strings. So we just need to convert that string into an integer and give it to t. Okay. So this is the first thing you need to know about the Python. When we are using an input function, it will always take an input in a string. So if you want a number, you can just convert it by typecasting it into int. Then we are just going to loop t times for x in range t, and then we're going to take ab as an input. So it is the same input type, but same input kind of thing we are doing as we done it the last time. So I'm not going to explain it again. You can see that there is no argument pass in the split function, so it will just take empty string as a default, and then we are just going to print a remainder b. I hope this is clear. So it is running one time for this, it is running two time for this, and you know what, it is running three times because t is 3 over here. If I'm going to give t equals to 100, it will run 100 time and it will take a and b 100 inputs, 100 time a and b, and print 100 time the remainder. I hope this code is pretty clear to you all. So let me just submit this and check if it work or not. Okay, so it's giving me the correct answer. Uh, So yeah, it is giving me the correct answer. So let's hop into the next question. So we have sum of digits. The next question is sum of digits. Let's see sum of digits. Okay, what it is doing is uh the same as the last question, that we are going to have three as a test case input, which is t, and then we have three numbers. We just need to give the sum of this number. Okay, I guess it's pretty clear that how you can just solve this question. So yeah, let's see what is going on over here. So it's really a simple thing. We can just remainder 10 when divided by 10 by in this question, in this type of question. But what is given here to just teach you how you can just typecast anything in the Python and use that feature to different programming questions. So what is done over here? Let me just show you once again. Just put out my pen. Yeah. So what is going to do is we are just taking t as an input. What is t? As you can see, t is 3. So we are taking 3 as an input. And as I told you before, that input always takes a number in the string. So you just need to convert a string into int. It's You just need to convert it into int, and how you can convert it into int? By typecasting it and writing int outside it. So what it is going to do is it is going to just take t as an input as integer. Then we are going to loop through this t times. We are looping 3 times or t times. And then what we are going to do is we are going to take the number. Okay. So we are going to take the number. Okay. We are taking the number, and what we are going to do? we are taking the number and initialize sum equals to 0. So what we are doing is initializing sum equals to 0. Then what I'm doing is I'm just looping through this integer number by converting into a string. And why I did that? Okay, let me just give you an example. Okay, so in Python you can't just loop through a number. Okay, because if it is 1 2 3 4, if it's a number, you can't iterate through it. Okay, why? Because it's not a iterable object. But when it's come to a string, when we just put like this, when we just do it like this and write str after it, then it becomes a string and we can iterate through it. Because we can iterate through a string but not from a number. So that's why we are just converting this number into a string. And when it's converted into a string, what is happening over here? Let me just tell you that. Okay. So what is happening? For example, we are having this number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we are having this number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what is happening? For j in s, string this. Okay, for j in this, for example, when we are looping through any of the element like string or list or tuples, dictionaries. So what Python does is it's really handy to use that uh, for j in string this. What it means that for j, then in this list or a string, we are taking the first element and giving that element to j. Okay, then we are just adding sum equals to sum plus int j. So what is happening over here? Let me just explain you in brief. So we are having this array, or sorry, we are having this string, and but we are taking first element, giving it to j, converting j into integer, and adding it to sum. And how many times we are doing it? We are doing it for 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. And we are doing it until that number is finished. Okay. Because we are looping through this whole number. We are not looping through a single number or a single string or a single character. We are looping through this whole string. Okay. So when we are looping through this whole string, what is happening? It is taking j equals to this, then this, then this, then this, then this. So all numbers are going in j, and then we are converting into integer and adding into c. So I hope it is clear. So I have one more thing to say over here, that we are just converting first into integer and then again into string. So I guess you can just remove this integer and string and just write it like this, and the program will just run fine as before. Okay, so let me just uh, submit this. Yes, I'll just remove this first. So let's hop into the next question. What next question is reverse the number. Let's open this question. The first line contains t as an input, total number of test case, and each line contains this of, and then we have to just reverse this. Okay, so in Python, to reverse the number, we have a really good thing. We can just slice the string. Okay, so we have a really pretty big code, and I'm just going to give you a brief explanation what is happening over here. Okay, so we are just taking the remainder of 10. But when we take the remainder of 10 by this, we will take 5 as an output. What I'm saying is just give me a minute. Okay. So when we take a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we remainder it by 100, but we are getting it 5. And when we get 5, okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to add reverse into 10 plus 5, which is 50. Okay, reverse is 0 from the starting, so it will become 0 and the number become 5. Okay, for the first iteration, this, and the number become 5. Then the second iteration come, the number become 1, 2, 3, 4, and when we just remainder it to 100, it will give us 4. And what the 4 is going to do is 5 into 10. 5 is our previous remainder, reverse 5 into 10 and plus the remainder. Remainder is 4. So we'll add 4. So what it will go is 54. And this program works so on, so forth until it gives us the resultant output, which is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it's a really big process if you're using Python. Okay. I would really not prefer to use this thing to solve this question. What I'm going to do is let me just show you how you can reverse the string in Python for really easy way. Okay. So I'm not saying I'm sorry, let me just record again. Okay. Okay, let me just give me a minute. Okay. So let me just sorry for this inconvenience. It happens because of my pen tab. Okay. So what I'm saying is, this is really very naive or not preferable by me thing to solve this question. What I'm going to do is just reverse these numbers by using this first slicing. So first I'm going to take that input n or the t. So I'm just like t is equals to int input. Okay, I'm taking the t as an input. Then I'm just going to take this number, and for before that I'm just going to loop 4 times or t times for I in t. Okay, for I in range t, sorry, range t. We are taking n is equals to. Okay, so most of you thinking that I am just writing input but not int, because I want this number to be a string, not a number. Because as I told you before, that you can just loop through a string, so a string is retrievable, but you can't loop through a number because number is not retrievable. So anything which is retrievable, you can use slicing on it. So what I'm going to do is print and colon square brackets colon -1. It will just return the string in reverse order. So this is string slicing. And if you don't know much about string slicing, you just comment it down. I will explain you how it is basically done. As you can see, the first argument it's empty. So first argument and second argument is stop argument, and the third is step argument. We are taking -1 step. And when we are making these two empty, which means just do it from start to end, all of it. Okay, this is the basically I can explain it like this. But if you want a full video on slicing, I can just make it. Just comment it down. I will make a full video on how you can slice different element in Python. So and after doing that, I'm just converting into integer, because the as program say it needs the output into integer. So I'm just converting into integer because it will give a string, because we are taking string as an input, we are reversing a string, and what we are getting is string, but we have to give the output in integer. So I'm just writing integer. So as you can see that how small this code looks, right? And one more thing, I just don't like to write these two lines of the code many times. So what I'm going to do is t equals to end input. We have over here. I'm just going to copy this and paste it over here and remove this line. So we are just taking for I in range int input. Okay, and then we are taking one more input and then just slicing it. So if you are new to the Python and you are having trouble by uh, seeing this code or this line of codes, so I've also made some video on my YouTube channel. You can just visit my YouTube channel and you can find the videos like DSC learning series and DSC learning series like complex analysis. This is, you can watch these two also to have the basic understanding how it is done. It is basically done by using int input. We are just taking an input and whatever input is just arrange it and loop through it. It is basically this line of code. And let me just check this code. You are saying that if it's not work or what. Okay, it will definitely work because see, it's 0.3 seconds. Okay, and when it comes to the old code, let me just show you the old code, how the old code works. Okay, so this is the old code, and my code takes 0.3 seconds, and just let's see how much time this process will take. Okay, in my opinion, this process will take much more time, but it's Python and computation power is still same, and the loop is same. So we are just having O of t. Okay, what O of t is, if you are not able to know what O of t is, you can just comment it down. I will just make another video to how you can just analyze your code by the time. Okay, so we have just done reverse two numbers, and now we are going to do is add two numbers. Okay, so add two numbers, it's a pretty simple, neat code. As you can see that we're just going to do the addition of these two numbers and t is the test case. As all the question, we are taking t as an input and then iterating t times, and then we are just taking a and b as an input and splitting it by space. Okay, as you can see, 1 and 2 split by the space. And as I told you before, if you write this or not, it will not make any changes in your code. Okay, so I'm just going to remove it, and answer equals to a plus b, and just I'm just returning answer. Okay, in Python, you can just return this instead of giving it to another element and just having like this. Okay, so this is how you can do in Python. Let me just see how it works. It is just reading the integers a and b. Okay, 0.3 seconds, pretty fast and accurate. Okay, so let's go to the next question, chief and operators. Okay, this is the question which I'm waiting for because all of these questions are previously solved. I have not solved any of them. I'm just explaining you how you can solve it by your own. Okay, so this is the question. What we are going to do is, okay, you can just read this problem statement. I've read it before. I'll just give the link of this section in the description. You can just go and check it out. So output should be less than, greater than, equals to. Okay. So what it is we are having three as in test case input. So we are just going to take t is in three, then a and b is this, and what we are going to return is this. We are returning this. Why we are returning this? Let me just explain you. Okay. So yeah. So we are returning this in 10 and 20 because 20 is greater than 10. It's really simple. It's simple because 10 and 20, how you can just give which operator you want to give in between them. Obviously, the greater than, and then 20 is less than 10, and then 10 is equals to 10. So this, and what we are having is A and B as an input, like these are going to be our input, and this is what we are going to do the output. So we are just going to out this thing from this. Okay, so how you can do that? Okay, it's unsolved, so we are going to solve this thing. So for dash in range input. Okay, so most of you are just thinking what dash is. Dash is also another variable. So in the programming, I just use dash to represent a variable which I'm not going to use in this further. But yes, I'm just going to have one variable which I'm not going to use from further programming for further programming. And then we are going to have 10 and 20, which means A and B, two integers. I'm just going to take A and B. And as I told you before, how to take integers, how to read two integers, space separated. We are just going to use map and convert those integers. Okay, let me just give you a space and clear answer. Input dot split. Okay, so by default, it's taking this as an argument. So I'm just going to not write it because it's by default in it. So what it is doing is it is just taking reading two inputs and splitting it by space. Okay, then what I have to do is I have to just convert this into integer. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just doing this and converting into integer by using map function. Okay, so this is a pretty neat code. As you can see, it's clearly visible how you are doing this. And I'm just going to check conditions. If A is less than B, return. Okay, we are not returning anything, we are just printing over here. Print this sign. Okay, and Aleph, B is greater than less than A, just uh just a second, let me do it like how you will be thinking of it. Okay, when we are having this, and just print this else. Okay, when it's not the condition, when A is not big, when B is not big, which means that both are equal. So we are just going to print equal. Okay, so this is the clearest code I've ever written. Let me just submit this code. I'm not testing it because I know it is going to just pass all the test cases, because it's not any rocket science or anything. It's just pretty easy code. Okay. For the time being, it is being submitted. Okay, it's submitted. Okay, so it will give me the correct answer. And if you want to check the test cases, how it is running the test cases, you can just click on compile and run, and it is giving me the output of this. Okay. So yeah, let's go to the next question. ATM. Okay, ATM. It's the most of my favorite question, because when I solved this question for the first time, it literally had me thinking why. Okay. So it's pretty simple. We are just having two inputs, and ATM, which is ATM means how many money in the account is and how many money it wanted to uh, withdraw from the account. Okay. So in every transaction, 0.5 rupees or $0.5 will be deducted as a service charge. Okay, so what I'm saying is, when we are having, let me just open my pen. Okay, so when we are having 120 rupees in our account and I want to remove 330 rupees, so it will just have 90 rupees. Okay, so this is normal subtraction, but it is giving me this output because 0.50 rupees are for service charges, which is going to give me 0.598. Okay, so this is the service charges we are having. So this is how you can do it. So to do that, what we are going to check is first condition. What we are going to check is if this number is smaller than, okay, what I'm saying is, okay, let me just clear all drawings. Okay, what I'm saying is n and atm. Okay, so this n number plus 0.5. Why I'm saying plus? Because when we are having 120 rupees in our account and I wanted to remove 120 rupees, it will not happen. If you have 120 rupees in your account and you want to withdraw 120 rupees, it will not going to give you the 120 rupees, because if he give you 120 rupees, so how it will take his service charges? What are service charges? 0.5 rupees. Okay, so if it will just give you the all money in the account, it will not able to deduct the service charges. So what we are going to check is this number plus 0.5 should be less than or equals to the ATM. What I'm saying is this number, let me just, this number means n and ATM. N plus 0.5 should be always less than or equals to ATM. I hope you are getting this right, what I'm saying. And one more thing. This question says that, let me just see the question also. This is the first condition, and the second condition says is the number should be always divisible by 5. Okay. So here what it says is the number will always have, okay. So it says that number should be just multiple of 5. So we are always going to check one more condition while doing it. We are just going to check if the number is divisible by 5 or not. So this is what I'm going to check also. So this is a pretty clear input string and n is an input. I'm not going to explain this again and again just to solve this. Okay, I'm just going to explain you how it is working. So the first condition which I'm telling you about is this. This is applying over here, and the second condition is it is divisible by 5 or not. And we are using AND gate, guys, over here. Okay, let me just tell you what AND gate, right? AND gate is. AND gate basically means that this condition and this condition both should be true in order to make this block true. Okay. If one of this condition is false, then this block will never going to run, and it will just return the original ATM price or the original value of ATM, because it's not deducting anything. And if it is deducting anything, what we are going to do is we are going to minus, we're just going to do this. Just want to show you what we are going to do. We are, just give me a minute. I've just written it. I just really don't want to return it again. So I'm just uh, finding it where it is. Okay. So what we are going to return is this, that ATM minus n minus 0.5. ATM minus n minus 0.5, which is the float number. So we are returning float number because as you can see in the output also, as in the output we are having 0.00, which is a pretty float number, like input, and the output is also float number. No matter what, the output is always a float number in this case, because as you can see there is no reduction have occurred, still it is giving me 40. Okay, so here is input 42, which is not divisible by 5, so it is not going to deduct answer. Okay, so it's just pretty simple and neat code to say, and let me just run this and see how it is working. I just remove all this drawing. Let me just check how it is working. It is running the test cases. So let's just hop into the first and last digit, which is the next question. It is running 12 now. So all the test cases they have run and it is just showing me 0.25 seconds. And yeah, this is working pretty fine. And I've just explained you how it is working. So yes, let's hop in the next question. Okay, so what next question is, we are just going to read this question because I haven't read this question, sorry. It's a given number integer and write a program to obtain the sum of the first and largest. Okay, it's pretty simple. We're just going to have T, which is the test case. As always, we are going to have this type of thing in the food chef or food forces and sometimes lead code also. So, and what we're going to have is this number three times, a n three times, and what we are going to have is just addition of 4 and 1, which is first and largest, and addition of 1 and 4, which is first and largest, and the addition of 3 and 2, which is first and last. Okay, so let me just do it because it's just for beginners, because that's why I'm just going to explain you what it is. So first digit is 1 and 4, the solution sum is 5. And when it's come to 1, 2, 3, 8, whatever the number is, we are just interested in first and last digit. So this is this, and this is 2, 4, 2, 3, 2, 3, and we're just going to add this number, which is 5. So it's not always going to be 5s. Okay. What we are going to do is we are taking an custom input should be 1, 2, 8, 7, and the first digit is 1, last is 7. We are just going to add and the output is 8. We are just going to return the out 8. Okay, it's pretty simple. We are just going to write code and just first test last. Okay, so this is simple. I have just told this before how you can take an input like this. So I'm not going to tell you how it is doing this again and again. Okay. So after that, let me just tell you, we are taking S as a string. Okay. As I told you before in the previous example, that if you are interested to do slicing, you just remove integer and it will not affect your code at all. So it is not affecting my code. So we are just taking slicing by 0. What it is doing is it is taking the 0th element when it comes to slicing. We are just taking it 0. Let me just take it like 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 0 is 1, 1 is 2, 2 is 8, and 3 is 7. So these are the indexing for these elements, and we are taking S0, which means this number, and we are taking S -1. We can just always take -1. We don't use this lengthy sequence. You can just use -1 to take this, because when you pass -1, which means the last element. If you just and what it is doing is it is just uh, length of S, and the length of S is what the length of S is. Length of S is 4, and we are just minusing 4 by 1 and returning 3. So we are also returning S of 3, which is 7. Okay, you can use this or this, it's up to you. And for my point of view, you can just write -1, S -1 to take this, or you can just use len of S -1 of this to take this, which is going to do this computation and return you the index of this number, and then you can just do whatever you want to do with this number. But I would prefer this most. because if you learn the string slicing, so you can just use it like this to find the last element. So it is the good practice to have the advantage of the language you're using. I don't know why I have most of the advantage I'm using. So I'm just going to run this code like this, but let me, before running it, I'm just going to change it a little bit. I'm just going to remove this. So it will also take S. Okay, it will take the last element, it will take the first element, convert it into a string, and then converting it into an integer by using int and then just adding them. Let me just sum them and see what happened. Okay, so while this code is running, let's see the next question. Next question is lucky four. Okay, the lucky four is a pretty basic question. Okay, so this is running fine. As I told you, you can just use my negative one. It will run. This will just run as fine as the previous code. Okay, so it is also done. Let's just go for the lucky four. Okay, so what lucky four is, we are just going to have t as an input, and then we have to just return how many four we have in this string or the integer. So if we are having 412 and then 3 4, okay, we are having 4 in this, so we return 4. We have 0, then we are returning 0. We have 1, we are returning 1 1 0. So this is pretty simple how we are returning it. Let me just show you once again. If we have 5 test cases, then it we have 4 0 1 1 and we have 0. So we have 4 4 0 4 1 4 1 4 0 4. It's pretty simple. We just need to return how many 4 we have in our input. Okay. So it's just a pretty simple program. We are just taking as an integer like a variable 4 equals to 0. What it is doing is it will just initializing the number of 4s or the solution. So n equals to number of integer. Okay, so if the integer divisor 4 is 10 and then okay. Okay, so this code is pretty lengthy. I don't prefer to write this type of code, but I'm just going to explain this code to you. Then I'm just going to show you how I will write the code. I will not saying that this is the bad method or this is not the good method. It's just up to the programmer how he likes to program that and how he just wanted to write this code. Okay, so it's just always up to him how it will just going to do that. We are just taking p as an input and just we are again looping like 5 times. If we are having 5, we are looping n time. If we are having n, so we are just having looping 3 times. Then we initializing a variable to store how many poles we have, and the number equals to int input. Then we are taking this number as an input over here. We are just reading this number in this line. Okay. After that, our main thing comes. Let me just show you. So we are just writing while now. While now means while this number exists, it's not equals to 0. Just run this code again and again. This block from here to here. So it's going to run it again and again and again until it becomes 0. Until the num equals to 0. Because when it done, then this code will give you the false and it will not run. Okay. So we are just what we are doing after that is if n remainder 10 equals to 4, what it is doing, if we remind this whole number 44744 by 100, it will give me remainder of 4, the last digit. It will give me the last digit of this integer. So if it is 4, then just add 1. If it's not, then just divide it by 10 and take the integer value. What we are doing, 4474 divided by 100, which is equals to 4477.4. and we are going to take the upper half of it, and which is 44747, and this number become this by this line. Okay, so after that, what we are going to do is, it is pretty simple. We are just going to do it again, and we divide a remainder into 100. The remainder will give us the last value. If it's not equal to 4, it will just go to this line and remove this also. The code will run as it is and just give you the number of 4 it is giving. But I don't prefer this as a good solution for this. What I'm going to do is, I'm just going to edit some of it and yeah, write my sum. So let me just add something over. I'm just not using integer because I don't want integer. I just can use string because I can just iterate through string. And let me just make it a column. And if I equals to 4, uh, 4 plus equals to 1, and just print 4. So this is more simple code, and as I told you before, you can just always use these type of things to just shorten your code. I always use this because I don't want my code to look like shit. And you can just always just like input we are taking, so simple like this, and return this line to me. Okay, so here we have an indentation, and let's just submit this code and check whether it works or not. Okay, so it's giving the wrong output. Let me check where it went wrong. Okay, it's giving me 0. Let me check why. Okay, as I told you before that it's a string, so it will always give me the string. To convert it into an integer, I just type int after that, and let's run it again. 40011. Okay, it's giving me the correct output, and let's just submit it. While it is submitting, let's hop into the next question. A valid triangle. Well, let's just check this. Okay, now it's giving the correct output. Okay, so this type of thing you can just use every time in the Python, that just try to shorten your code and do the maximize work as you can. Okay, so the valid triangle. The valid triangle is just measure the angles. Okay, so what we are having in this question is also the pretty easiest question I've ever made. So yeah, let me just show you how this question is doing. So what this question is saying, this you have T in the test case, and when we have the angles of the different triangles. So when we have one triangle like this, and the first angle is 40°, second angle is 40°, and the third angle is 100°. Okay, to be your information, it's not look like this. These type of angles should always kind of look like this. Yeah, 40, 40, 100. Let's just not not look at this. This is kind of thing when we take this type of angles, and when we take this type of angles, it will just give us like something like this. And when we take this, okay, let's just check this. When we take an angle of 180°, and you can't make one angle degree some like, no, this is not possible. Okay, so always in triangle, the angle of three of these angles, the sum of these three should be equals to 180 degree. Always. Not less, not greater, always 180 degree. If it is if it is 180 degree, it is a valid triangle. If it's not, it will not a valid triangle. So as you can see that it is a valid triangle. Yes, it is. Yes, it is not. Yes, yes. No. So we are just going to code this shit. Okay, to code this, I'm just going to do my password. I'm using all the things I've teach you before. Okay, let's just convert it into int. And then we are having A, B, and C, which is equals to map in input dot split. Okay, then we are just returning if A plus B plus C equals to 180 degree, print yes, else print no. It's just pretty simple. I'm just going to submit this code because I don't want to waste your time and mine just to tell how its code is working. As I told you before, okay, it's running fine, and yeah, it's pretty simple. Okay, so I'm giving an exercise to solve this ID and shift question. It's pretty easy. I'm just going to give you how you can solve this. You are taking input like T, and then you are taking T number alphabets. If it's B, just print battleship, C, cruise, and destroyer, like this. So you can do that, and if you are not able to do that, the answer is in the description. You can check the answer, and so yeah. So before seeing that, you can just try this on your own to check how much you learned from this. And I've completely solved all of this question and tell you how you can just take input and output and solve the basic logical thing in the Python. As for the next video, I'm just going to solve this level up star 1 and 2, all the questions. Okay. So for that, you just need to subscribe this channel and press the bell icon so that you can't miss any of my update. And for DSA, I have also DSA learning series and DSA code chef series. And you can also learn data science over here just a little bit. And I will just going to make whole video on data science, how you can explore data analysis, linear regression, logistic regression, k-means, everything. So stay tuned and have a good day. Bye bye.